Tonight, the U.S. is among the nations with the highest rate of new COVID-19 cases. Good evening, I'm Emily Hallwick. And the number of new U.S. cases this month is more than 3 times the numbers in Iran and India. John Lawrence reports health officials are concerned the upward trend will continue.
COVID-19 still has a tight grip on the United States.
This Delta variant really has been a game changer.
More than 1.5 million new COVID-19 cases so far this month in the U.S., according to Johns Hopkins University.
Some of us thought that we might see a surge come the winter time, but now we're having a surge in the summer when this was supposed to be the quiet period.
8 states, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nevada, and Texas, account for around 24% of the nation's population, but about 51% of COVID-19 hospitalizations in the U.S., according to a CNN analysis of Health and Human Services data.
This is not staying in the South, where this force of infection is so strong that we're now seeing it move up into the Midwest.
Officials in Dallas County, Texas said Friday there were no ICU beds for children left in the county.
If your child has a congenital heart defect or something, needs an ICU bed, or more likely if they have COVID, need an ICU bed, we don't have one. Your child will wait for another child to die.
This as the country waits for an authorized vaccine for those 12 years and younger.
Children have become the collateral damage of adults who've made a personal choice not to be vaccinated. These children who are falling ill have been infected by unvaccinated adults who are in their environment.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
On a state-by-state comparison, the highest rate of new cases per capita is in Louisiana, with Florida in second place. On Friday, Florida reported more than 151,000 new cases over the past week. That's the most infections in a 7-day period in the state since the pandemic started. Kansas has now updated its travel guidelines, now saying anyone unvaccinated who goes to a gathering of 500 people or more needs to quarantine. That's 7 days with a negative test or 10 days with no test. The guidance previously only applied to out-of-state gatherings. Another change, any Kansan who goes to Louisiana now has to quarantine when they return. People with compromised immune systems make up nearly a third of breakthrough coronavirus cases. The CDC now recommends that they get a third shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. These booster shots are not yet recommended for the general public. Right now, organ transplant patients, some cancer patients, and those on certain medications qualify. Doctors here in the Metro tell us they're excited about the new booster, but there's also some skepticism from people it could help.
I certainly would recommend individuals who fall into those categories to go ahead and get that booster shot as soon as they can. So I think it's a big boost for folks who do have immunocompromising conditions, and hopefully we'll give them some additional peace of mind.
This is one that I'm willing to just take a moment, wait and see what happens, and go forward from there.
You should, of course, ask your doctor if a booster shot is right for you. It's recommended patients wait a minimum of 28 days after their second shot before getting that booster. The booster shot should be the same brand as the first 2 shots. Hy-Vee is offering the booster shots starting today. They don't require proof of a person's condition, and no appointments are necessary. Health officials are still looking into if or when a booster would be needed for the general population. The CDC says the number of COVID patients in their 30s has reached a record rate now. This week, it's at 2.5 admissions per 100,000 people. Now, the previous record for the age group, 2 per 100,000, was set in early January. The CDC says that the Delta variant is to blame. New tonight, students and staff in the Kearney School District will have to wear masks when they return to school. The Board of Education approved a return to school plan in a special meeting today. It calls for universal masking regardless of vaccination status. Students and adults are also required to wear masks on school buses. The district says the goal is to keep all students learning in person for the entire year. The policies take effect immediately and will stay in place until further notice. 68 people recently tested positive for COVID at a senior living center in Independence. The Fountains at Greenbrier reports 58 residents and 10 staff members had COVID. 3 residents died, 2 who weren't vaccinated. All visitors are now required to wear masks there, and they're also recommended for residents. Well, COVID-19 has forced Cass Regional Medical Center in Harrisonville to update its visitor policy. Starting Monday, visitors will not be allowed to see ER or hospitalized patients. Outpatients can bring in one person for support. No one under 14 will be allowed in. All patients and visitors will be screened at the door.